grief. Oh, come on, Charlie Brown.
Oh, hello, Julia.
Oh, hello, Jeremy.
How are you? How's it going?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. It was a fun little catch up that we just had before this. I have to say this in front of our OhHello viewers that are viewing this on any form of media, and then to our listeners that are listening wherever they're listening to their pods. Our special guest, Julia Carter, I'm saying who you are, is a renowned Gen Z poster on every form of social media. But with that, I've had the pleasure of working with you before and also just seeing you grow into yourself. Why don't you tell our audience, who are you? Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with right now?
Such a good question. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Julia. I work in SaaS sales and it's been a whole journey. I feel like what I characterize myself as is like independent, confident, all just myself all the time. And it's definitely been a journey getting here. But yeah, I love to post on everything, always giving my authentic opinion, no matter what. But yeah, I would say those things encompass
Tell
who I
tell
am.
us about the journey. Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Where do you live right now?
Yeah, so I grew up in Connecticut and in DC. So go Capitals. They just got beat by the Rangers the other night, but it's fine. And I went to Denison University in Ohio.
Go
So
Big Red.
love the Midwest. We got Ohio. They have Cane's Chicken there, which is fantastic. But yeah, so after graduation, I graduated during the pandemic, which was a very unique time to graduate in
Mm-hmm.
2020. But yeah, from there I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was like so lost. Everyone's interviews and jobs had been like revoked because of COVID. So it was sort of a very difficult time to jump into your first job, but I just took anything I could get my paws on and eventually landed as an SDR. But yeah, there was a lot of turmoil in between. I worked at a store selling clothes,
Well,
worked
what
at
does it mean?
a
What does it
startup.
mean to be an SDR for those that aren't familiar? Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've done? I think that'd be helpful. I know what an SDR is, but not everybody.
Oh, yeah, no, sales development representative. So typically brands hire someone like an SDR to go out, do outreach, try and, get meetings with the company to eventually, like grow the name or close business, obviously.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
So, how would you characterize your skill set?
Yes. Well, so I feel like my whole strategy and skill set is following the words of just don't be annoying, just giving a pleasant experience like to people I talk with. I want them to feel like everything is easy in all of the outreach I do. So that's, when I'm reaching out to companies to see if they'd like to take a meeting, always making sure I'm like relevant, to the point, quick, and easy just to make the process like as good as possible on both ends because it can be hard to be a buyer but also hard to be a seller.
Super helpful to hear. What are some different traits and characteristics that you think that you have that other people can learn from you? So, as putting it out there, as one of our youngest, freshest, but extremely confident hellos that are going to be part of the OhHello tribe, help give us a little bit more insight as to like what your experience is thus far in your career. Like, what would you tell your younger self? What would you tell your peer set that graduated during the pandemic, that are graduating now when there's potentially a bank crises taking place? Would love to hear your words of wisdom.
Totally. And I feel like when I graduated, I was really lost and I was always trying to get help from like my career center at school, but they were just like, "Oh, look at this pamphlet, do this." Or I was like, "Oh, can you help hook me up with Denison alumni?" And they're like, "Oh, we can't do that." And I'm like, "Oh." So, yeah, I was like, "Isn't that the whole point of the career center?" It's like help get me a job, but they're like, oh no, we can't do that. So that was definitely a challenge. But I think, at least for myself, I know what I wanted at that stage. Like, first of all, just someone to be like, oh, here's how to write like a decent resume, just like basic things there. I think that's a challenge that not a lot of people know where to start. And then secondly too, like I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like zero clue. I was like, I'm going to go into the food and beverage, like alcohol industry, like because I worked at this really cool startup that did that and I'm like, yeah, like I'm good at like doing the marketing label things. But I think for myself, like I've kind of had to like do a lot of trial and error to get
Sure.
to the point that I am at now, which is being an account executive in like the tech space.
Sure.
But for myself, I think that I'm qualities that would be helpful or things that I wish I knew is like it's all okay. You know, this doesn't have to be your end all be all of life, and just always being confident and true to yourself and just standing up for like what you think is like testing your ideas, even if people don't necessarily want to test your idea. It's like test it out, see what works, see what doesn't. Big on like
Totally.
testing strategy. But yeah, so
Wonderful nuggets of experiences that you've gone through thus far, or so early in your career, but you understand that it's not necessarily a linear path and that it's a long marathon.
it is a marathon. Yeah, I mean it's been crazy. I've worked at big companies, startups, like doing literally anything and everything in between, which I feel like has given me to like a unique skill set being on these sort of sales-esque teams at big companies, small
Yep.
companies, selling a broad product, selling a specific product. Like I've kind of seen a lot of stuff. So, which has helped me like sort of craft my strategies according to like which bucket I'm falling into.
Amazing. Amazing. Who are some mentors that have made a profound impact on you and your career so far?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I love my old SDR manager, Stanton Kwan. Shout out to him from my job before this. He's the best. And I was such a bad SDR in the beginning. I was so horrible. Like all my emails were so cringe and they didn't make any sense. And it was like the most classic, like, hey, I saw you went to Ohio State, like go Bucks. Or it was so bad. And I was like, why am I not getting any meetings and personalizing? And he was like literally the best, just would always take, you know, me and be like, hey, like let's meet and like let's like make all these emails together and like figure out how to like do that while also encouraging me to like do stuff on my own, like I would
Nice.
post on LinkedIn and he's like, yeah, like that's awesome, like keep that up. So he's one of my favorites.
Nice. Anyone else besides for Stan? Or is that
Oh, I mean, there's so many people that like in my life. Honestly, like one of my best friends from college, she's been a great mentor. She's an amazing like creative writer.
what's her
And
name?
her name is Micah Frankel. She's like one of the most creative people I know. And she definitely like helps me tap into my creative spirit because sometimes I'm at a loss and she always knows what to do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. As a hello, Julia, you're going to be able to donate after each session as being a mentor. You're going to be able to donate to 40 plus different charities that are integrated into the platform. What is a charity that's near and dear to your heart? Or what's a cause that's near and dear to your heart?
Yes. MSK, Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Research Hospital. I actually ran the marathon raising money for them.
Boom.
Yes, I did the marathon. If anyone needs help with that, I got you. It was really long, but I did it.
It was a marathon.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend it. It was really hard, but yeah, that's definitely what I would pick.
Nice. Well, Julia, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Thank you, Julia, for joining us today. See you soon, my friend. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks.